Heyo, welcome back to Thoughts and Opinions Are Our Own. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Kirk.
Kirk.
Yes.
Happy season 4.
This is it. We made it. Season 4, episode 1. This is the premiere episode. Yes.
We've been through a lot these last 4 seasons.
It's been fun though. It's been a lot of fun, and we're glad. Of course, our listening audience is still with us. So
thank you so much to our loyal fans.
Thanks for tuning in again.
Thank you.
To see what Kirk and Jordan have to say.
Thank you to viewers like you. Listeners.
Today is a special day, Jordan. What's today?
Today is Easter Resurrection Sunday.
Resurrection Sunday. So usually when we record our pods, we don't tell you, sometimes,
but majority.
But today we're like, you know what, Easter, with our faith, we believe Easter is a special day, and so I'm like, you know what, let's do a pod on Easter.
Fun fact, real quick. One of my coworkers from like a former job of mine texted me today, and she's like, "Hey, happy Easter." She goes, "I know you're one of the only few people that actually celebrate it for the real right reasons."
Oh, wow.
So she's like, "Happy Easter." And I'm like, wow, like she remembered that.
Of course. That's good. And again, and I know the whole Easter bunny and the Easter eggs, and
those are really fun. Even as an adult, I love a good scavenger hunt, a good Easter egg hunt. All the Swifties out there, they love Taylor's Easter eggs.
Sure. Chocolate covered hoppy, right? I mean, I like a hoppy,
Reese's peanut butter cups.
There you go. They're delicious. So anyhow, we thought we'd
happy Easter, folks.
Yes, happy Easter. If you believe in Easter, God bless you, and thanks for tuning in. So along with the Easter theme, as you build up to, going back to I guess it's really February or March, depending on when. They call it Lent. So,
40 days before.
40 days before
Mardi
Easter.
Gras.
Yeah, so Mardi Gras, that whole thing.
Ash Wednesday.
Yep, Ash Wednesday. So looking back over the last 40 days, Jordan, you and I have had some fun things happen to us. Why don't you start?
It's been a really busy 40 days.
Yes.
So I think, first of all, kicking it off is we have a new family member now, a new addition to our family.
Yes.
Very exciting. So congratulations to my sister and brother-in-law on the birth of their daughter.
So you have a niece and I have a granddaughter. Excellent.
So we have one of each. We're good. So that was really exciting. And then for me, I'm trying to think. Aslan, she's been on this pod. It was her birthday. Then it was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Then some friends came out to visit us. That was really cool. I went to the city of Washington, D.C., did a lot of tourist sightseeing stuff, saw the cherry blossoms. Aslan really likes the cherry blossoms, so I went back with her again. That was super fun.
Was it packed? Were there a lot of visitors?
Yeah, so the first time I went, it was super packed. It was almost like it was 4th of July, or it felt like it was New York City or Chicago. It was jam-packed, and there were, it's spring break, so there are families, there are lots of kids and teenagers.
Yep.
Kids on their field trip, and then the whole city, because it was a really nice sunny day out. And it was on the weekend, so everyone wanted to go out and see it. I think it was 72 or 73. It was so beautiful.
Oh, wow.
You're right on the water.
Yeah.
It was a little windy, but it was great. We saw the famous Stumpy. Good for him for still going. And I think what made it extra special, too, is so the tidal basin, it's not salt water, but it's not fresh water. Mom was explaining it to me. The Potomac and the Atlantic meet, and it somehow falls or drops into the tidal basin. So all that salt water, fresh water, it's all mixing together.
The Potomac River and the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, because we're, close to the Atlantic.
Okay, all right.
And somehow all the water gets mixed up. So in the tidal basin, it's starting to corrode away at the seawall. I'm not kidding. There were times where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really bad. Big cracks. It was super bad. Anyway, so the federal government approved for construction. So I think it's going to take another 3 or 4 years. But because of that, they have to move all the cherry blossoms that are at the Jefferson and the MLK and the FDR memorials. They have to move them back. So they have to go transplant them. So the next time anyone I think can see them is either 2027, I think.
Listen to you. You could be a tour guide.
I really could. I really, really could.
Expanding your career options.
I really could. I love DC, and I really don't hear anyone say how they love DC because of course you think of politics and all the corruption that goes on with that. But I mean, there's literal corrosion happening, so they're gonna have to redo it. So anyway, everyone wanted to see the cherry blossoms, and then Aslan, she's never been, and she really wanted to do it. So she was like, "Hey, let's go." Well, actually, I think I was like, "Hey, let's go," and she's like, "Okay." And so we went, and this time we went, it was a weeknight. The weather was a little more coolish because, the sun is setting. It was so beautiful. We got these amazing photos, the angle of the sun and then the cherry blossoms in the water. And the crowd's leaving because, it's 5 o'clock at rush hour traffic. So we planned that so well.
Good.
The sun is setting. We took the metro in. We walked around. There weren't a lot of people. It was a lot of fun, and they're so beautiful. They're really pretty. They're white, they're pink, and it's really cool to see the whole city come out and see it. Lots of couples were there. I'm like, oh, that is a cute date idea. Families were taking their Easter spring photos.
Right.
I saw couples doing their engagement photos, quinceañera photos. So a lot of people were taking them. I saw professional photographers. It was really cool.
I think the spring season is fun. I think there's leading up if you have a belief in celebrating Easter and the 40 days of Lent, I think there's an excitement there. There's a rebirth.
Yeah, renewal.
There's a renewal, rebirth, obviously. And tapping into that in a spiritual realm, like the whole supernatural, Jesus came to, die on the cross for all of us.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to. And then, he was buried, and then he rose from the grave on Easter Sunday. So, but I think that's cool that you got to see that, like you said, especially in our nation's capital, there's a lot of positive energy, and with spring season, again, there's usually the weather is getting nicer.
Well, and I will say too, so this is my first spring out here in the DMV Nova area.
Right.
Coming from the Midwest, spring was either hit or miss. You're going from either 33 degrees, it snows another inch or two. Softball practice is inside, tennis is canceled or whatever. And there's a possible blizzard, or it's literally 80 degrees out, scorching hot, everything's melting, so it's muddy and slushy. And there is no in between. Out here though, it's very subtle. You can tell okay, we're going to 48, now we're going to 52, now it's 56. And it's not as extreme. And because of that, I really appreciate spring out here. You can really appreciate the nature of it. And
the sun, yeah.
Oh my gosh, the whole sun being up past 5 p.m. now literally gave me new life or something. I love it. I don't know how I've been doing it before. I mean, I know I was further north, but oh my gosh. So I think I'm definitely a spring, summer person, and it took moving I kind of know that before, but yeah, I love the spring out here. So, and then it was Mom's birthday, and then it was Easter. So we've had a very fun but busy 40 days, at least for me. What about you? How have your last 40 days been?
Well, obviously, like you said, with the holidays, my granddaughter being born, very exciting. Obviously, we've been waiting for her to arrive. Recently, we had I know you had your car situation a while back. I think we talked about that last time.
And there were 2 bonus DVD features that happened, but your girl figured it out.
You did. You figured it out on the fly.
Sure did.
We also I had this blue Chevrolet Cruze car that we drove out from Michigan last summer. When we moved out here, it was a great car. We had about 97,000 miles on it, whatever it was, and it was a good car. It was a really good car. But then it started having some problems, and you're like, okay, how much am I gonna invest in this car? Yeah. And we still owed a big chunk of it. And so I won't tell you how much we owed, but it was a big chunk. Anyhow,
God, I can't believe you told me that.
Anyhow. So then the question is, do I just keep investing in repairs until I can pay the car off? And so at one point, obviously, your mom and I had to have the conversation. So we do some car shopping, and we went along
with you.
You did.
And who was there when you bought the new
You were the
car?
emotional, yes, you were the emotional support daughter I appreciate that. Thank
Let's
you so
just
much.
say, if you need help buying a car, selling a car, or even renting a car.
Yes, Jordan, you knew what to do, and you helped us, and we went to two different places. So the second place seemed to have a better deal for us.
Yeah,
and then,
really nice.
Again, speaking of like miracles, and I'm not being messing when I'm saying this. I'm being serious. Like the second place offered to pay off the loan that we had on that blue car that we were trading in. So
that's
so
amazing.
first it was talking about it was a miracle. It was the answer to prayer. Seriously, because first of all, they bought the blue car from us. Second of all, they're like, hey, we're going to pay off whatever X amount of dollars you still owe. I just looked at the guy, go, really? He goes, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. I go, thank you so much. And then he goes and he hears, obviously here's the deal that we can get you for for your new car. So again, kind of going with the theme of, a rebirth, a renewal. And then again, answer to prayer if you believe in prayer.
That was really cool.
Which we do. And so anyhow, I just thought, wow, this is like, obviously this was an important, yeah, I mean, it was a miracle, and it was important. It was an important time for us. And I know, again, everybody has to figure out, when to move and when to get a new car, and car insurance, and just the bills, and then a career change. Do I get a new job? Do I apply for a new job? So kind of a bit of a transition time for us.
By the way, I highly recommend just getting a new job. Like, it's fine.
Build up that resume. But that's a segue though, because there is something to say about staying loyal to the company that you're at, whether it's staying a year, staying 3 years, staying 8 years. But I do, yes.
Yeah, don't get taken advantage of.
No, you have to know, of course. We talked about this.
Know your worth.
Know your value.
You know what you're bringing. Your resume will speak volumes for it.
So, and there's nothing wrong about, checking to see what's available out there. I think I've said before, Indeed.com. I just started using that last year. It helped me. Literally, it helped me when we moved out here to the East Coast to find a number of jobs, actually. And so, anyhow, but I appreciate that car company. I'm not going to say who it was, but if they're listening, you helped.
Did you give them that good review they asked for?
I thought maybe your mom did. She's better on is it the Yelp thing or anyhow?
Yeah, Google reviews.
Maybe we do that anyhow, so there you go. That's kind of been my update for the last 40 days. And, still coaching.
I joined a church. Small group, and then I've been going to their Tuesday morning prayer. Good. I mean, that's commitment. Again, talking about spiritual. When you wake up and it's still dark out, and you're like, "What am I doing awake?" But then when you get there, I'm not gonna lie. I know it sounds cheesy. I do notice a difference
in your day.
Yeah. Yes. And even like throughout the week, it's a nice. It's like a spiritual version of going to Starbucks and getting a nice little refresher, or getting a Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew. It's a nice little way to like boost your energy throughout the week. So, and there have been times where like, I don't know, I'll like silly little stuff happen, office politics. Someone called in, or someone called off, or hey Jordan, can you cover this person, or oh hey, this silly little thing happened. And everyone reacts differently, and I feel very calm and peaceful. I'm like, I prayed about stuff. I'm good to go. So it's almost like, okay, you can't throw me off my game. I'm not going to get too much into it. There was one Tuesday, I woke up, I turned on the water, and I'm like, it's a little coldy. I'm like, you know what? This isn't going to get me down. I'll just call maintenance. They can restore the hot water, and they did. But yeah, it's like the little things, just don't kind of like sweat them. But then I have been busy, so I've kind of missed the last couple of ones. And I did get called out by one of them, too. She's like, hey, Jordan, we haven't seen you.
Oh, because you were going Tuesday mornings, and then you didn't go. Like, well, where'd Jordan go?
Yep. And she's like, hey, girl, where have you been? I was like, oh, it's spring break, I'm like, I'm human. Hey, even Jesus took naps, too.
Of course, you got to rest up. Speaking of spring, if I can get this in real quick before we go. And I'm not bashing this, and I'm not judging people, but he says, but there's because you went to a Christian college.
Oh yeah.
I went to, that's right, 2 Christian colleges. Mm-hmm. And there's this, sometimes there's.
Mom has worked at Christian schools.
God bless her. She's worked at multiple Christian schools. So there's this thing sometimes in the springtime, especially you know where I'm headed with this.
I sure do.
Especially in college, it's called Ring by Spring.
Ring by Spring. If you know, you know.
Yeah, you know. And sometimes they ring a bell if somebody gets engaged.
Gosh.
They throw
dump them in
they dump the guy in the lake or whatever.
Usually, it's a girl who is going to be a teacher. It's the good old educators, teachers getting.
And again, we're not judging. Again,
with their fiance.
Your mom is a teacher, and so.
You guys.
So we actually did that. But
by accident. Like
it was. I did not. Yes, I did not say like I have to get engaged.
But it was funny because of our conversation last night. Like that's when we all realized that you guys did it.
Yes, because that day is actually April 8th, which is again when we're recording this. This is coming up in 8 days. And I'm like, oh, right, we did get engaged April 8th. And it was in Springfield, Missouri. And I remember exactly Springfield, Missouri and Ring by Spring. So there you go. It really does. It comes together. 33, no, I'm sorry. It was 1993 and this is 2024. So sorry, it was 31 years ago.
Wow.
So anyhow, I was thinking about that also. I'm like, you know what? I'll maybe
Shout out to you if that's your birthday.
April 8th. There you go. April 8th, 1993. That was a very good day for me. And here we are. And your mom. And here we are. You know, we've been married for over 30 years. We have 3 daughters, a son-in-law, a grandson, a granddaughter, 3 cats.
Maybe 4.
Maybe 4. We'll see. ... And so, but it's been good. It's been really, really cool. And so anyhow, again, kind of going back to the spring theme and the supernatural and how God has moved in our lives and brought us together. And like I said, here we are now on the East Coast and having some fun. So anyhow, thanks for letting me share that. So.
Fun little plug. Please go to DC. It's a great city. It's very historical, but there are lots of fun things that you can do. There's the Spy Museum, which is fun. There's the Commanders football. I don't know how good they are or not.
Oh, the sports, yeah.
There's the Nationals
baseball,
for
hockey,
and that's literally on the wharf. That's cool.
Yep.
There's hockey. I haven't found the basketball team yet, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's really fun. There are 2 airports. There's the Metro. I love the Metro. You just hop on, go places, and hop off. And if you're from New York and you're like, oh, Jordan, you don't know what it's like. Hey, man, the DC Metro is really clean and really nice. So kudos to you for doing the New York.
I think that's cool. No, but I think that's cool. You feel comfortable riding it and taking it into the.
I love it.
Into the city, and I mean that's really cool that it.
They have a lot of restaurants, but I haven't found like the things I really like though. But I really like the museums, and I like just going around. And it's cool because like that's where like our country kind of got its foundings from.
Well, of course, the capital and the history, of course. And, again, I think even America, I think this country it's not perfect, obviously, but I think
we try.
I think we have opportunities here that maybe other countries, again, not judging, but other countries just don't have they don't have yet. Maybe they will soon. But I really do, I really do believe in our country in terms of freedom, in terms of what we offer to people. Mm-hmm. And again, it's not perfect. We have things we have to work on, but you realize when you live near the capital, like you said, all the history there, and I mean there is a sense of pride in America and patriotism and what the people 200, 300, 400 years ago, how they had to. What they had to do to survive and coming over here. And again, there were some bad things that happened and not to diminish that, but anyhow, so there you go.
There's a lot to soak in.
There really is. There's a lot of good things and there's some, not so good things. And anyhow, so there you go. So spring season,
woohoo,
miracles, Easter 2024. Thanks again. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We hope that again, if you have some kind of faith, that you are exercising it like a muscle, and when you operate in your faith, hopefully you'll see results.
Maybe
like I did.
You start your own 6 a.m.
Maybe you can get on board with the early morning or late night prayer. If you're a late night person, you're like, hey man,
that would be awesome.
I'd rather pray at midnight or do what you got to do, or do a devotion, or or fast, or whatever you got to do. Journal, yep. Spend some time with your Creator, and and there you go. Again, hey, do what you got to do. Everybody's
doing it with the cherry blossoms outside.
Cherry blossoms. We highly recommend the cherry blossoms if you get a chance. All right, there you go.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys find yourself a little spring miracle. We'll see you on the next podcast.
Rock and roll.